During the long, cold, and snowy months of winter, I like to stay as cozy as possible, sitting by a fire with a good book and a toasty warm cup of something, while the snow falls gently outside. These are just a few ways I like to enjoy this slow rolling season of winter. I decided I was going to build on this idea of being cozy and create something that would contribute to this cozy vibe. I wanted to make a tea light holder or an incense burner in the shape of a cute cottage. I wanted to create some cutouts in the shape of windows and create a little chimney where the smoke from the incense would come out of. I started with a sketch and then I created a pattern on paper where I could cut out different shapes on the slabs of clay. I started by creating this little planter that would house a little tree beside the door in front of the cottage. Here I'm making sure that I score my pieces and add a little bit of slip so that the two pieces that I'm creating don't fall apart. For the tree that goes in the planter, I started with a cone. And I found the best way to kind of make little branches was to come in sideways with a pair of scissors and create some texture in the cone. I cut the tree and I cut the planter in half because in the future it's going to be adhered to the front of the cottage. Here is the first slab of clay. It's going to be the base of the cottage. This is always one of my most favorite parts. I love to stamp my pieces with a pottery clay stamp. Now I know what you're thinking. This does not look like a pottery stamp to me, and it's not. It is actually a 3D printed stamp. My son and I created them with his 3D printer. I went ahead and cut out the front of the cottage. And here I'm just playing around with placement, checking out to see where I kind of want to put everything. And I'm just testing to see how the tree looks. And I think I like everything. And since I liked where the tree was, I decided the next step was to score everything and put it in place. And again, I'm scoring the tree, and I'm going to add a little bit of water and attach the tree to the front of the cottage. When adhering two pieces together in pottery, I think it's always a good idea to make kind of little snakes and push them into the two places where the pieces join. This just makes a more concrete join and really helps to hold everything together. So at this point, I'm definitely ready to start adding the other pieces of the cottage together, and I'm just doing my scoring bit here. So I've added the one side of the cottage to the base, and here again I'm just adding a little snake and smoothing it out and attaching it to one side of the cottage and the base of the cottage. And these joins are really going to make the cottage very sturdy and hopefully won't fall apart. At this point, I'm ready for the next slab of clay, and I think that if I was to do this cottage again, I would definitely wait for those pieces to harden up. As you can see, it's kind of really soft, and I had to use 2 cardboard rolls to hold it so that it wouldn't collapse in on itself. So definitely second time around, I would leave the slabs of clay to dry maybe for a few hours longer. In my mind, this piece was really starting to come together. This was one of the last few things that I was going to do with this cottage before I let it dry overnight. And here we are, we made it to the painting part of this project. For this step, I used underglaze paints to paint up the cottage before it headed to the kiln for its first fire. I'm just going to let the next part of this video play, and you can watch as this cottage comes to life with color. Keep in mind the colors are going to change after its last firing in the kiln, the glaze firing. The glaze really brings out the color and the pigment in the underglaze, and it's really exciting to see the end result. But that is in a little bit. So enjoy the rest of this section, and I'll meet you at the end of the video for the reveal. It's reveal time! And here I'm just adding a few little lights to the cottage to light the inside up, but you can see the incense coming out the top of the chimney, and I think it looks really cute. It was also perfect timing on this day because it was snowing outside and we had a wee little bit of a snowstorm, and I thought it was the perfect time to take it outside and do a little photo shoot with the cottage. And of course, I couldn't forget the little snowman. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.